Okay, guys, so this is where we are in this project. This is the next lesson on this. And now we're going to make some arms. And if I look at his arms, I want him to be kind of a long rectangle, okay? So I'm going to take my paper, I folded it in half, okay? I'm going to cut it about here. And that's probably too long for my arm, just a little bit. So I'm going to cut a little bit off the end, not the folded end, the other end. So I still have a folded piece of paper like this. Okay, then I'm going to fold it again, in half again, sorry, fold it in half again, okay, and then fold it in half one more time. All right, and now I'm going to make this kind of look like a snowflake. So I'm going to trim my ends here, kind of do something like that on one side, and then I'm going to do something kind of like that on the other side. So I get something like that. And then I'm going to, again, have more holes left than paper. I don't want a lot of paper. I want it to look lacy and cool, so I'm cutting out a lot of shapes out of it. Okay, so I cut one side. Now I'm doing the other side. Make sure my two sides don't touch or I'll have holes, which will look dumb. Okay. All right, and then I open it up and I have this nice, long, skinny, basically snowflake-like thing. So I actually have two. So what I'm going to do is cut this in the middle, right along my fold. Okay, and then if you see this, now I have an arm for my snowman. I'm going to glue those on, and then I'll come back here in a minute and show how that goes. Same. Let me just tell them to be really careful, didn't you? I just tore mine. Okay, so now I have it glued on here. This is my little snowman. Notice I didn't leave a big gap between when my arms touch, so I actually have it overlap a little bit because it looks funny if you have a big blue gap between the arms and the body. Okay, so that's his arms. So then the next step is you're going to make accessories for him. So like a hat, a scarf, a little broomstick. If you want to be cool and give him a hockey stick, you can do that. Put little buttons on him. So you're going to create those on white paper with your colored pencils. And you have to kind of figure out what size things are going to be to make it look right. So I'm laying this on top like this, and then I'm going to draw it out. As soon as I find my pencil, there it is. I'm going to draw it out. I can see it, so I'm going to draw it out on the top of that. Okay, there, I drew it on top. That hat fits it right. And then I'm going to color that to make his accessories. So let me do that. Okay, so I colored that hat and then I carefully cut it out. Notice I left no white edges around the outside of my hat. Okay, then I'm going to glue that on here. So I'll show you that in a sec. Okay, my snowman now has a little hat. Now I'm going to make him a little scarf, and I'm going to do that the same way. I'm going to lay the rest of my paper on top of it, kind of draw it out, and then color. Okay, this makes no sense if you don't know what it is, but since you know it's a scarf, it kind of does make sense. So I'm going to color that. Okay, I'm not sure I got that other, so we're doing this again. This is a scarf. It probably makes no sense if you don't know what that is, but I laid that on there. I drew it to fit, and then I'm going to color it. Okay, here's my scarf colored out. Notice I used 2 colors of green, and I used darks and lights to make it look like it's flowing and that the little knot is showing up. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it out. And when I cut it out, I want to cut no white showing. And notice I move my paper and not my scissors in order to get a nice smooth cut. I just bring my scissors down really nice and slow. I don't chew at it. Okay, and I do a nice long smooth cut. All right, I'll finish that. And now I glued that on. So I don't want to do too many accessories, you guys, because you want the snowflakes to show through. So I want to put something in his hand, and then I'll probably just make a couple little pieces of coal and a mouth, and that's probably all I'll do. So I'll show you that when I'm done, but this is the end of lesson 2. This is probably all as far as you'll get the next day or 2. So we'll get that, and then we'll finish this off. Okay.